Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is August 4th, 2010, and I am Darko. I'll be covering the Middle East in this video. I will be starting off with this article that was posted August 4th, 2010 from InfoWars, and it's titled, says VIP's memo says Netanyahu planning surprise attack that will make it politically untenable for U.S. to do anything other than offer full support for a military campaign. It says veteran intelligence professionals for Sanity, a group of former intelligence and military officials, warned President Obama in a memo that Israel is preparing to attack Iran this month and that Obama needs to publicly denounce such an attack in order to prevent a wider war and the ultimate destruction of Israel. Now, we all know that Admiral Mueller, who is the Joint Chief of Staff for Obama, the head military guru, has called for a strike on Iran or is supporting it. We also have the director of the CIA saying that there's it's a likelihood that within the past year he said there's a likelihood that we'll be hit by a big-time terrorist attack. He also said recently that there's a good chance that we would be going or getting into a conflict with Iran. So that's the director of CIA and the Joint Chief of Staff. And then recently the U.S. Congress has just passed a bill that gave Israel, support for Israel if they were to strike Iran. In other words, they gave Israel the green light. In other words, we will support Iran or Israel if they attack Iran. So we have a lot going on right now in this part of the world, but it's not so much as us just bombing Iran or Iran doing something to where we just bomb them. It's not that black and white anymore these days. This global government and this control system that we live in is gray. It's not black and white. And so things like what's happening right now with Lebanon and Israel, which happened recently, it's not being fought over a stupid cypress tree. There's more than that. Israel's been having spies in Lebanon, and Lebanon's been catching hundreds of spies, Mossad spies, over the past couple months. There were some Islamist militants that just fired off rockets and hit an Israeli resort just a couple days before the spies were caught in Lebanon and before this little skirmish between Lebanon and the Israelis. But they want you to think that it was something over a cypress tree. So the U.S. is definitely aware of what's going on, and they even signed legislation that would publicly and politically support Israel if they do what they're saying here, which is Israel's tactic is to launch the war suddenly and then make it politically unattendable for Obama to do anything other than offer U.S. full military support. And these are all people 20 years in the CIA, 24 in the CIA, retired special forces. I mean, these are very credible people that are saying this. It's not just be fear-mongering and making something out of nothing. I've been following this news, and this is the most news I've seen going on in a while. This article from Asia Times Online, forgetful Mullen's unintended consequences. Admiral Mike Mullen, chairman of the U.S. Joint Chief of Staff, caused a media stir by revealing on Sunday that the U.S. has prepared a plan of attack on Iran, once again reminding Tehran that, quote, all options are on the table and that the fury of the U.S. military may soon descend upon Iran if it continues with its controversial nuclear program. Such calculated escalation of Washington's rhetoric elicited an expected Iranian denunciation and the pledge of a firm response throughout the Middle East and beyond. Despite its superpower wherewithal, the U.S. military has major areas of vulnerability that Iran can exploit, primarily through the overstretch and drain on resources of already fighting in two theaters of conflict, in Iraq and Afghanistan. The proximity of U.S. forces to Iran and its intermediate and long-range missiles. And finishing up, what are these unintended consequences? Says U.S. ships' vulnerability to anti-ship cruise missiles and Iran's ability to strike back at any attack in the region, including Lebanon, Gaza, and the above, all the narrow Strait of Hormuz, are also considerations leading to the conclusion that an aggressive response would likely instigate a regional conflagration amid estimates that oil prices could nearly double within the onset of any military flare-ups between Iran and the U.S. or Israel. An attack leading to an aggressive response would be detrimental to the world economic recovery or restructuring, consolidation, and it won't hurt the powers that be and the elites. They will make money, they will profit from it, and we will lose our wealth. This article from the AP was from August 4th, 2010. It's titled, Floods Ravage Pakistan's Heartland, Threaten South. Flooding ravaged hundreds of villages in Pakistan's main province of Punjab on Wednesday, destroying homes, soaking crops, and threatening more lives. Aid workers warned that bloated rivers would surge south, flooding more areas. And, yeah, this isn't really too good for this area of the world either. And I don't know if this is 100% accurate. I'm not going to say that it is, but it's just my conjecture or speculation that being that the West and the East both have the ability to create rain, that let's not rule this out, right? It says the rains are falling about 25 to 30% above normal rates. It said the Northwest experienced 1 in a century rains, hitting it the hardest. And you ask, well, why is this important? Well, you had the plane crash recently, and according to the authorities, it's still under investigation because they were making weird maneuvers when they were landing. But it is also, I'm aware that it's hard to land, I guess, in Pakistan to begin with. So, but this is the important part. Al-Qaeda or Al-Qaeda meddles with Karachi burns. Pakistani police claimed on Tuesday that a lawmaker from the Qawmi movement or United National Movement has been murdered by an Al-Qaeda-backed South Waziristan-based Fazal Masood group. Haider and his bodyguard were killed on Monday by gunmen at a mosque in the Nazimabad area of the southern port city of Karachi. The killing sparks violence in Karachi, with at least 65 people killed in clashes between supporters of the anti-Al-Qaeda and pro-militant groups. As the unrest comes at time, the country is reeling from its worst floods in living memory, with vast parts of the northwest Khyber province, southern Punjab, and parts of Baluchistan affected. And these are all parts that Tarpley talked about. We all know that U.S. troops are moving towards the Pakistan border in Afghanistan, so they are honing in on that. According to WikiLeaks and recent mainstream articles, they're pointing all of their focus towards Pakistan, saying, well, now that we're Afghanistan and Iraq and we know what's going on with Pakistan, let's do it, let's go. So this is part of that from Press TV. It says a powerful blast has rocked a police station in Pakistan's northwest city, killing at least 3 people and wounding several others. The senior provincial minister says the chief of Pakistan's frontier constabulary was among the victims. So, yep, Al-Qaeda is running around, and there's civil unrest in Pakistan all of a sudden, right after this WikiLeaks, and all these articles say that it's time to go to Pakistan. And so, this is a little background. July 26, 2010, natural gas could lead to new Lebanon-Israeli war. It says the discovery of a large natural gas reserve under the waters of the eastern Mediterranean could potentially mean a huge economic windfall for Israel and Lebanon, both resource-poor nations, if it doesn't spark new war between them. And basically, it's over the Tamar field, and also what I read into it, it was a U.S.-Israeli drilling company that made the claim that all of the field belongs to Israel and not Lebanon. Lebanon disagrees and says that part of it in the ocean belongs to them. This is some other recent news. July 28, 2010, Lebanon busts second Mossad telecom spy. Second employee of the Lebanon's mobile phone firm has been charged with spying for Israel and has been referred to a military court. It says, since April 2009, Lebanon has arrested nearly 100 people, including members of country's security forces and telecom personnel, on suspicion of spying for the Mossad, which has dealt a serious blow to Israel's intelligence gathering system in Lebanon. This article, rockets hit Israel and Jordan resorts August 2nd, 2010. Rockets from Egypt's Sinai, where Islamist militants have operated in the past, hit Israel and Jordan's Red Sea ports on Monday, killing a Jordanian civilian and injuring 3. August 4th, Lebanon vows to hit back at aggressors. Hezbollah ready to hit heart of Israel. But the mainstream media will have you believe flare-up over tree accents Israel-Lebanon tension. It took more than cutting down a tree to shatter 4 years of calm on the Israel-Lebanon border. What a bunch of shit. Thank you.